Lucius Aurelius Commodus, born on August 31, 161 CE, was the 18th emperor of the Roman Empire. He ruled from 180 to 192 CE and is remembered as one of the more controversial emperors in Roman history. Commodus's reign marked the end of the era of the five good emperors and the beginning of a period of instability and decline that would characterize much of the 3rd century. His leadership, which began with promise, devolved into tyranny, misrule, and ultimately contributed to the destabilization of the Roman Empire. Commodus was the son of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the last of the five good emperors, and his wife Faustina the Younger. Marcus Aurelius was an influential Stoic philosopher, and his reign, which lasted from 161 to 180 CE, was seen as a period of relative stability and prosperity for Rome. Commodus was made co-emperor with his father in 177 CE at the young age of 16, though Marcus Aurelius continued to rule largely unchallenged until his death in 180 CE. At the time of his ascension, Commodus was viewed as a legitimate heir, having been groomed for leadership from an early age. His reign, however, did not fulfill the hopes many had for him. Upon Marcus Aurelius's death, Commodus was hailed as emperor and immediately faced the challenge of living up to his father's legacy. Commodus's early reign appeared promising. The Senate, the Roman aristocracy, and the military initially accepted him as emperor, though his behavior quickly became erratic. His first major action as emperor was to have a large number of the Senate's decisions and privileges reaffirmed, but this conciliatory move would prove short-lived. Commodus's reign was marred by his increasing disregard for traditional Roman governance. While his father had been a deeply intellectual ruler, devoted to philosophy and duty, Commodus had little interest in the complexities of governance and administration. Instead, he became obsessed with personal fame and power. His rule saw the erosion of the once sacred relationship between the emperor and the Senate as Commodus began to place his own favorites in positions of power, diminishing the role of traditional Roman elites. By the late 1800s CE, Commodus's behavior became more erratic and autocratic. His reign was increasingly marked by cruelty, paranoia, and a disregard for Roman traditions. Commodus's obsession with personal glory led him to present himself as the reincarnation of the god Hercules, even participating in gladiatorial games as a performer. His desire for recognition in these contests was driven by vanity, and he reportedly fought in the arena, killing hundreds of animals and even humans, though it was likely staged to ensure his victory. This behavior scandalized the Roman elite, who saw the emperor's actions as demeaning to his office and the dignity of the imperial family. One of the most infamous episodes of Commodus's reign was his decision to rename the months of the year after himself and his titles, further showcasing his egotism. He also adopted increasingly tyrannical measures, purging political rivals and executing anyone he perceived as a threat. His relationship with the Senate grew more hostile as he undermined its authority in favor of his own absolutism. Commodus also engaged in significant financial mismanagement. While his father, Marcus Aurelius, had maintained relative fiscal discipline during his reign, Commodus squandered the empire's resources on lavish spectacles and extravagant public works. His obsession with luxury, indulgence, and displays of power drained the treasury and placed a significant strain on the Roman economy. Commodus's reign saw the further rise of corruption within the imperial administration. His appointments were often based on personal loyalty rather than merit, leading to a weakening of the Roman government's functioning. His excessive spending, combined with his autocratic rule, eroded the integrity of the state and alienated many segments of Roman society. In addition to his internal mismanagement, Commodus's reign was characterized by a decline in military discipline and success. While Marcus Aurelius had been a capable military leader, Defending the empire from barbarian invasions and securing its borders, Commodus lacked military skill and was uninterested in the governance of the provinces. During his reign, several Roman territories faced invasions and internal unrest, but Commodus largely ignored these threats, leaving military leaders to deal with the crises in his stead. As a result, the cohesion of the Roman Empire began to deteriorate. His lack of engagement with military affairs further alienated his soldiers and commanders, who were crucial to the stability of the empire. The declining state of the Roman military under Commodus was one of the contributing factors to the eventual downfall of his reign. Commodus's increasingly erratic behavior and his autocratic rule caused dissatisfaction among many in the Roman elite, including members of his own inner circle. His actions, particularly his gladiatorial antics and his disregard for Roman traditions, alienated the powerful Senate and military leaders. A conspiracy to remove him was hatched, led by his chamberlain, Eclectus, and several other officials. On December 31st, 192 CE, Commodus was strangled to death in his bath by a wrestler named Narcissus, who had been part of the conspiracy. His death marked the end of the Nerva Antonine dynasty and initiated a period of political instability known as the Year of the Five Emperors, where rival claimants to the throne fought for control of the empire. Commodus's death and the chaotic aftermath revealed the deep flaws of his reign. His failure to provide competent leadership, his personal extravagance, and his disregard for the traditions of Roman governance led to his reputation as one of Rome's most despised emperors. His reign was a turning point, leading to a shift in the Roman Empire from a period of relative stability to one marked by internal strife and political turmoil. Despite his early potential, Commodus's rule is often viewed negatively by historians. Ancient writers, such as Dio Cassius and Herodian, portrayed him as a cruel, self-obsessed ruler who ignored the duties of governance in favor of self-aggrandizement. His obsession with gladiatorial combat and personal glory, combined with his destructive financial policies and tyrannical actions, painted a picture of a ruler who was disconnected from the needs of the empire. In popular culture, Commodus has been depicted as a villain, most notably in the 2000 film Gladiator, where his character is portrayed as a corrupt and unstable emperor. While Hollywood takes liberties with historical accuracy, the character in the film reflects the negative portrayal of Commodus in ancient sources. Commodus's reign is often seen as a tragic example of the dangers of unchecked power and the corrupting influence of vanity. While he had the potential to be a competent ruler, his personal excesses and disregard for the traditions of Roman governance ultimately led to his downfall. His death ushered in a period of instability for the Roman Empire, and his name became synonymous with tyranny and decadence. Though some of the early years of his reign had seemed promising, Commodus's later years solidified his place as one of Rome's more infamous emperors.